It is the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. Every week we feature somebody else different in the studio, and I have a rarity to share with you, and I'm excited about this because we have a lot of different bands in the area, but not a lot of female voices that get showcased, and so I'm happy to bring with me tonight Kat Starr. Say hi, Kat.
Hi there. Thanks for having me in.
This is, it's kind of nice. We had you stop by our studios here a while back to do something completely unrelated. You didn't even have any idea we were doing this. And so you kind of left something with us, and I've had a chance to kind of listen to that. We're going to play a couple of songs tonight. We brought the guitar, and so we're going to sit down and let people kind of listen to that and kind of get a feel for what you do. You don't just make music, though. You help instruct it, too.
I do. I teach music privately here in Cookeville, and I teach violin and guitar, ukulele, and I also lead a Cookeville Community Folk Orchestra that's open to the community.
So do you have to do anything extra special to join the orchestra other than being able to play? I mean,
able to play and show up and be willing to have a good time. No, it's really open to musicians of all levels. I started it because I realized there were so many closet musicians out there that didn't have a musical home. And so the orchestra, I get to write all the arrangements to suit the ability level of the participants. So if you show up and want to play, I want you there.
What's the most strangest instrument you've had somebody show up to play?
We've had them all so far, but we have an accordion player.
Nice.
And wouldn't you know it, it fills things out so nicely.
You know what? The sound of the accordion, surprisingly, there's a band right now called the Congos that they use an accordion. Mm-hmm. And the first time I was like, I don't know, it kind of fits. It rounds it out. You wouldn't expect that.
Oh, I know it. It's great. It's great. We get her to play solo any chance we get.
So we do that, and then you play all these different instruments. Mm-hmm. What instrument did you start with?
Well, when I was 9 in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, I got started in the strings program there on viola, of all things. And I actually faked reading music for about 2 years. And then my teacher, Miss Van Tol, finally caught on and said, no, really, you've got to figure this out. But what that gave me was the ability to play by ear, and that's just been so helpful in my career. And I transitioned to violin in college when I finished up my degree in music education, and picked up guitar along the way, and ukulele is my most recent instrument. It's just a fun one.
So you do a variety of genres of music then too.
I do.
You don't just because you hear those instruments and you automatically start to think, oh well, there's classical, and that's pretty much as far as you go. But
right.
No.
Classical was really just the starting place for me. I really enjoy my classical background and education, but I feel like my true musical education began after college when I traveled to Flat Creek, Tennessee, a couple times a month to take lessons from Jim Wood on the fiddle, and I learned so much there about folk music, about Americana, about traditional fiddle tunes, things like that. So I bring that, and also, like I said, jazz, bring that to the songs that I write.
Okay, so you do write mostly those style of songs, then you fit more into the Americana range.
I'd say so, yeah. Americana, of course, that's a big umbrella, but
yeah.
But I love blues, and I'm starting to learn how to play those as well. And actually, what got me into jazz music was swing dance, of all things. That's my favorite pastime.
So not even an instrument,
no.
But a pastime.
Yeah. It was just great to go dancing, and I'd be like, oh my God, I've got to learn this song. This is fantastic.
Well, now you do have some songs that you have written, a couple of original tunes, and in fact, why don't we talk about one of those tunes?
Sure.
Let's talk about Liar.
Yes.
Where's your inspiration from that? Is it anybody in particular? Are we going to get in trouble for pointing fingers, or?
No.
Okay.
No, the wonderful thing about being happily married is that I get to make all kinds of stuff up.
Okay.
And use my imagination. So this song, Liar, is about an imaginary couple that for some reason is probably not supposed to be together, and maybe didn't even intend to get together, but they're just sort of attracted and can't really not be together.
So it's more you write yours more in the aspect of staying with storyteller, not so much looking towards real life experience, but just looking for a story to craft.
Well, I think I think the stories that I pull are from real life, just not usually mine.
Very cool.
I'm a big-time people watcher, introvert, and so when I pick up on, subtleties of speech or, relationship dynamics, it interests me so much, and that comes out in my music.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, let's give them a listen. This is Liar from Starr on the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. It is the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. Sitting down this week to talk with Starr. We've had a chance to hear one of your songs, and we didn't point something out that we kind of need to. We have a couple of recorded tunes of yours that we're playing,
yes.
And you actually get help on those.
I do, thank goodness. My wonderful husband, Clayton Ferris, plays acoustic bass guitar with me in the band Diddy Road, and so does my good friend, Little Johnny Cantreed.
Nice. So now, Diddy Road, is it just the three of you collaborating, or?
Just the three of us. Johnny and I met at Hippie Jack's about 4 or 5 years ago, and decided to put it together and make ourselves a band, and luckily Clay has joined us as well.
And is this a casual thing, or is this we're working towards something, or?
I'd say it's fairly casual. We play a couple times a year and play for parties and Hippie Jacks and things like that. And yeah, we're just really good friends.
If people wanted to find out more about what you do with the whole session work and teaching and instructing and stuff, have you got an online presence?
I do. I hope they'll go to www.catstarmusic.com.
Okay, now, and that's with 2 R's.
Oh, yes, KATSTARR.
Yes, I had to make sure I was writing it down. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I think there's an extra R in there.
There sure is.
So they can go online, and you have the website set up. And
That's right.
Do you do things on Facebook too? Or?
I do, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Mostly you'll find quotes from my kids' students on there.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Those are fun.
So now, do you showcase any of their stuff on there?
Let's see, I've got a couple of videos of my students on my website.
All right. So if you want to see how she's faring with the instruction of them, you can check that out. And let's say maybe I need a little bit of polish on my guitar work.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do during the week as far as people can come in anytime and just do you have to have appointments? How does it work?
Appointments are good because I'm usually booked pretty well throughout the week, working about 12 to 7 at my studio down near Hobby Lobby. But if you'll give me a call, do you mind if I give my phone number?
Yeah, go
okay.
ahead. You can give the phone number.
Give me a call at 931-510-0880, and I'd love to give people help with a little, guitar or whatever they're needing.
Little instruction there, and you can jam with her too. That would be,
That'd be great.
maybe you can join out on Diddy Road. Maybe do a little extra instrument.
That's
there.
right.
Bring your accordion. No, okay. I've only got one accordion player. Let's not get carried away. We don't need extras. All right, so you work on this. How often do you sit down to work on your own material, though? I mean, helping other people out, that's great.
Sure.
And I love that we have a resource like that. But as far as writing your own material, how do you do?
Well, I guess I'd like more time for it, but then who wouldn't want more time?
Right.
Generally speaking, I don't make time specifically for songwriting. However, when a song is trying to come out, I just pay attention and I sit down and I work with it. Maybe a couple times a year, a pretty good thought will come to me, and so I will tell Clay, "I'm so sorry, but I have just got to go in the other room and figure out what's happening here." So songs kind of come when they're ready, and I try to just be ready to receive them.
All right. Well, we're talking with Starr about her songwriting process. We've kind of touched on a couple of things about that. I want to ask you a few other questions, and we'll do that as we continue on with the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. It's the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7, talking this week with Starr. One of the cool things is that I'm not finding a lot of them in this area, and I kind of wish we would find more female musicians. Mm-hmm. And it stands out to me that whenever we come across one, simply because I just don't think there's enough. And I'm curious, as an instructor working with students, do you find that it's something that maybe just standing out that women have a harder time doing, or just not getting the recognition for?
That's a really tough question. I think we are still in a situation in which instruments are chosen by gender quite often. I don't know that guitar is an instrument that is quote-unquote feminine enough for a lot of people, or maybe they just tend to go more for violin. That's seen as more ladylike in a way, I guess. Also, I think it takes an incredible amount of courage to sing your own songs. I like to give the analogy. It's kind of like standing naked somewhere. It's like you're really vulnerable and you're expressing your whole self, and that if you're not used to doing that, it can be a very difficult thing to start doing.
So whenever you're working with somebody that's, that I'm going to guess you probably have some vocalists that you've worked with.
I do.
Do you work on their confidence level as much as their vocal ability, or?
I think in lessons, I am always working on confidence with all of my students, and it's sort of like the preacher who preaches what they need to hear as well. It's very helpful for me to speak to not just young girls, but all of my students, retired men, 5-year-olds, everybody needs a little boost in that area, I think. And if I can show any of my students how to worry less about what an outsider is seeing and worry more about what they are feeling, what they are expressing, and then that's going to show in their performance, and that's going to make everybody have a good time. Whereas instead, if they're more concerned with outside influence, then they're going to mess up more because they're not focusing on what they're doing.
Not that I'm trying to single out, and I hope it never comes across that I'm trying to single out that I just feel like there are a lot of talented people that are not getting the chance to be heard that they need to. I know that's the great thing about this show. We've had a lot of great bands in here, and I'm not taking away from their ability to be sure.
Not at all, yeah.
Would love to see more ladies step up and send in their stuff. So hopefully this inspires them, and sharing what you're sharing with us tonight hopefully inspires them a little bit too. In fact, I want to share something else with the listeners, another song of yours. And among the many songs that you've got, a couple of them we've got that are recorded, but there's some that you haven't recorded.
That's right.
So how about we share one that you have not recorded?
That'd be great.
Tell them what it is and tell them a little bit about it.
Sure. I mentioned I'm a really avid swing dancer. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I guess just hearing all those chords for so long, I just started writing in them. And this song, Sweet Distraction, is about a couple dancing. And it's just, hopefully it's very highly danceable also.
I might tap a toe or two,
That'd
probably. We're going to give that a listen. This is Sweet Distraction. It's easy for me to talk about, but not really. It's Cat Starr on the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7.
With me, darling, don't say a word. You might break the spell. I need a melody. I need a waking dream. I need a sweet distraction tonight. Move me slowly, hold me closely, make every move your deepest desire. Song. Will this only last a moment, or can it last the whole night long? Dance with me, breathe with me, for this moment in time I could be anyone. I need a melody, I need a waking dream, I need a sweet distraction. distraction, darling. You gotta distract me tonight. Tonight, I need a sweet distraction tonight.
It's the 9 o'clock news, local edition on Rock 93.7, the show that is all about local bands, bringing you the best of the area. And tonight I have with me Kat Starr.
Hi.
We've been talking to her about what she does. She, of course, has written a couple of originals and working on her own projects. She also instructs in her side time. And do you mentioned earlier that you have traveled off to other places. So how much traveling do you get in?
Well, not as much as I'd like, that's for sure. But my husband and I travel some for family. We've got family in Nashville and Oak Ridge, and so my roots are in Oak Ridge, so I end up playing there with some local musicians. I guess other travel ends up usually being for gigs, wedding receptions or parties, things like that.
Okay, so small engagements mainly, things along those lines. Have you, has Diddy Road gone out and done anything big as far as festival or anything like that? Or?
Let's see. No, nothing really huge. We like to keep things kind of simple, and we've gotten to play on the Blue Plate Special once. That was pretty cool. And we traveled to some little city and played their community festival there. So Lobelville, that's the name of the place.
Oh, okay.
It would come to me.
So what you said that and I mentioned travel because you had said that you traveled a little bit and learned a little bit about the fiddle and had some instruction. So I'm kind of curious also if you've had any travel to learn more about music. Is that anything else along those lines?
Yes. Yeah, I try to do something once a year to continue my education in music instruction. A few years ago, I went to Virginia to the Paul Roland, that's his name, the Paul Roland string camp out there. And that was hugely informative. A lot of really great instructors out there. I hope to go soon to the, there's another camp in Maryville, Tennessee. I'm terrible with names. I'm so sorry. I can't think of who it was.
That's all right. So basically you are always looking for ways to improve upon your playing.
Yes.
Things that instruction-wise and stuff. So you lean more towards, I think we said earlier on as we were starting out, you really learned to play by ear to begin with before they forced you to learn the proper way. So do you find that you get more enjoyment out of the technical learning or out of the learning it by ear? Oh,
that's a great question. I think they complement each other so well. I was so ignorant about things like music theory until college. And then, once I learned about the technical aspect of music, it all made sense. It's like, why does all this sound good together? Well, it's this pretty natural progression of chords. And so in my music instruction, I have all of my students learn how to read music, learn excellent technique, but also to learn how to play by ear so that, say they're at a party and sitting out under the tree or a bunch of musicians, they can just join in and not have to go, oh, God, do you have the sheet music for that? I need to see what you're doing.
Yeah, it's hard to have a guitar pull with sheet music.
It is a little bit, yeah.
Kat, I have appreciated you coming by to talk with us. And we told them they can go to the website, Kat Starr Music. Go check that out.
Yes, please.
And then you can check her out on Facebook as well. And if you want to learn more, she's happy to teach you, too. So you can find out more about that, too. That's also up at the website. Music, are you going to make that available online at any point?
I really hope so. My plate's very full with the teaching and also with the community folk orchestra, but I would very much like to put out a CD of my own songs in the next year or two.
I do know that you have a little bit of a sampler. Is that accessible to people, too? Can they get that?
Yes, it is. That's available on the Diddy Road website, www.diddyroad.com. I believe that's also on SoundBaby for free on there. Also, there's lots of clips on YouTube if you're just interested in seeing me and my band perform live.
Excellent. There you go. Plenty of places to check her out. And again, thank you, Kat, for stopping by. We appreciate having you tonight.
My pleasure.